Hello, guys. My name is Safo Kwame Oheneba. I come bearing good news today. So, the AFCON final is on this Sunday between Morocco and Senegal. I am doing a predict and win thing on my YouTube, which is at the Sulia podcast on YouTube. So, anyone who can predict the right scoreline, is it going to end 2-1, 3-1? Is it going to be settled in extra time? Is it going to be on penalties? Anyone who can predict the right scoreline wins $50. And you would have to be a subscriber to the Sulia podcast on YouTube. The comment would have to be made on my latest episode or my long episode, which would be discussing the semifinals and analyzing the final. Make your prediction under the comment section. For my guys on TikTok, head over to the YouTube channel at the Sulia podcast, make predictions there. And to be a winner, you would have to be a subscriber to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And then if we do not get anyone having like the right score, the winner is going to be anyone who gets close to the right score. So yeah, I mean, I know $50 is not much for people, but for my peeps in Ghana, come on, $50. I heard petrol prices have gone down. Now you can buy a full tank. Come on. So guys, let me get your prediction and then subscribe to the YouTube channel as well as the Sulia podcast. So yeah, bye. This week's podcast episode. Let's start with referee Daniel Lai, and let's start with the semi-finals match between Nigeria and Morocco. First of all, I would want to say this. I don't think anyone is good. I don't think I am going to support Morocco in that final. Why am I saying that? I personally did not like the unsportsmanlike behavior that went on between Nwabali and the stewards behind the goalpost, because I've still not seen a Moroccan explanation as to why stewards can go onto the pitch to take a goalkeeper's towel. Literally, I don't know what the reason is. I have not seen any explanation to it, but it cannot make sense that whilst a game is ongoing, you see, because a goalkeeper raised his middle finger to the crowd. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So I would like to get that out of the way. But let's talk about Daniel Lai. After Nigerians lost that final to Morocco, there has been heavy criticism and heavy focus on the performance of the Ghanaian referee Daniel Lai. First of all, first thing I would want to see, the very first time CAF made the announcement that referee Daniel Lai, who is Ghanaian, is going to referee the game. I mean, it was for banter, people were laughing, but then I thought there was too much focus on the nationality of the referee. I believe that if the NFF had a problem with the referee, they could have made a protest, just as Moroccans have made a protest, Cameroonians have made protests, other countries have made protests to referees that will be officiating them. So first of all, I think the NFF should have made a protest if they really did not want a Ghanaian or even a South African VAR. But secondly, CAF, I think CAF put themselves in a very tough corner. I believe that the Gambian referee who refereed Egypt and Senegal should have been the referee refereeing Morocco and Nigeria, and then the Ghanaian referee referees Egypt and Senegal. That would have made sense that Thomas Bongile, Daniel Lai, and the whole set of team which refereed the Nigerian game would referee the Senegal-Egypt, and then the Gambian referee and the officials which refereed the Egypt-Senegal game officiate there. Because again, it's very difficult for anyone to make any claims, because once there is a Ghanaian element, yes, Ghana and Nigeria have like a friendly rivalry, but then it can sometimes get toxic in any other way. So the thing is, whatever would have happened, if Daniel Lai had officiated well, if he had not officiated well, his body of work on that day was going to come under like huge scrutiny. So that was for it before the game. Now, let's look at the game. In the game, this is one thing I realized. Referee Daniel Lai made 51 calls in that game. Out of the 51 calls he made, he awarded 29 fouls against Nigeria committed on Morocco, and awarded 22 fouls to Nigeria committed against Morocco. So Nigeria had 22 free kicks, Morocco had 29 free kicks. So there was not really a huge disparity in like the little free kicks that he was there was no huge disparity. If you make that comparison to Nigeria and Algeria, the reason we'd have to talk about Nigeria and Algeria's game is that the Algerians, after the Nigeria game, also made bold statement that they were robbed by the officials, and everybody, including me, including many people on social media, including many spectators who watched the game, told the Algerians to shut up. We said, Algeria, you didn't play well. You barely had any shot on target. You had like, 2 shots on target. Don't blame this on referee. So I went back into that game. You look at the officiating calls in that game. There was a total 37 calls made by the referee. 23 free kicks awarded in favor of Nigeria, 14 in favor of Algeria. If you look at the disparity in that game, that means a total of 10 different free kicks where 10 officiating decisions were in favor of Nigeria. You look at the Morocco game and there was 7 officiating decisions in favor of Morocco. So if there's really no difference in officiating decisions that was made in the Nigeria game and officiating decisions that was made in the Moroccan game, why is this whole talk about the referee? But let's before people go under the because I've had a lot of Nigerian viewers who would really go and hail abuse. Before people go and hail abuse on me, listen to this. I get where Nigerians are coming from. I get the sense where they are coming from because I also got the same sense watching the game. I believe that like the early 20-30 minutes of the game, he literally was not giving anything to the Nigerians. Like, it felt like he was scared to caution the Moroccans. He was very quick to give a card out to Calvin Bassey. But the Moroccans committed a lot more like free kicks, fouls, and stuff like that, which he didn't award. And even if he would award, he wouldn't caution them. I feel like it emboldened the Moroccans. So I get the call that the Nigerians are saying, well, he didn't give us the 50-50 decisions. He didn't give us the 50-50 decisions, so it's scarred our players, psychologically affected our players. But then one thing you get at the end of the day is that this was not an Oviedo performance. This was not a horrendous referee officiating performance. I think officiating that day was just bang average. It was bang average. I was asking a couple of people, would you on this officiating decision recommend him to referee the final? No, I wouldn't, because I don't think it was as phenomenal. I don't think it was as great as the Gambian referee had. And even that one, we will go on there, the Egyptians also had a problem with that. So I don't think it was 100, but I don't think it was that great either. I think it was just 5/10 performance. I mean, it's only Nigerians who think this is a 2/10 performance. This is outrageous. And are not blaming themselves in the sense that I feel like Nigerians played in a way to put themselves in that position. Because if you've watched football games, in the history of football games, normally a side which approaches a game very defensively, they normally have decisions going against them because you are always on the defensive. You are not making any attacking impetus. And the reason why Nigeria played better than Algeria, the reason why Nigeria had good officiating against Algeria is because they were on the attacking impetus. They were always on the front line. They were always attacking. So if you're always attacking it's scarce that you would have 50-50 decisions no go for you. But if you are defending, which was very shocking, Eric Schell said in the press conference the day before that he was going to defend because his players were tired. And we all were like, Oga, I hope you are joking now. I hope this thing is a joke. Because what you've done well for you this whole tournament is giving us a barrage of attack. Notice all the game Nigeria played. In their first 10 minutes, they are always attacking. We didn't see that in this game. And Nigerians within themselves, if they will put all the emotions aside, within themselves, no, they didn't deserve to win that semi-final. Because Morocco played better than you. The same way Algeria didn't deserve to win the quarterfinals, I don't think Nigeria deserved to win the semi-final. So we can put this thing to bed. And Nigerians will agree that referee Daniel Lai is not the reason why you went to blow your lead in the penalty shootout. It is not the referee's fault you blew your lead in the penalty shootout. You can always show us this clips about this call he didn't make, this call he didn't make. But ask yourself, did this call shift or alter the football in any way? No, it didn't. It really didn't. They were saying, "Oh, the ball was going for a throw in. He didn't take it. He took a foul." Like, I don't think. And they showed an Iwobi video where a player hacks a player down, and Iwobi was up in arms. But on a second look at that video, the player actually did hack the Moroccan down. So, guys, I get that the referee didn't have like a stellar performance, but let's stop this microscopic thing we are doing. So I think Morocco deserves to win, and Morocco deserves to be in that final. Now there are other semi-finals between Egypt and Senegal. I don't know what the Egyptians are waffling about, talking about referee. Like, I genuinely don't know what the Egyptians were waffling about. Egypt, like, know thyself. Like, yes, they were officiating in this tournament. Again, I think that's going to be the Achilles heel of this tournament. The officiating has not been stellar. I don't think it is due to bias. It's been due to selective incompetence in certain games. But Egypt, that game is not a game you were robbed. You barely offered anything. Like, absolutely nothing. We all knew that was going to be your game plan, but god damn it, there's levels to this haram. Even against Cote d'Ivoire, you were playing haram, but you did attack a bit. Zero attack, and then they were crying about the goal Mane scored. About there was no offside. First of all, there was no offside because the Egyptian defender's hand kept the Senegalese player on. I don't care whatever you think, but his hand kept him on. Then they complained about a handball. The ball did not touch Mane's hand. We all watch replays, did not touch Mane's hand. And then they go like, "Oh, we've won 7, we've won 7. Okay, you've won 7, but you've not won since 2010, and apparently it's still hard on you." So forget about that. I mean, that whole Egyptian cry was classless. The way they approached the game was just classless. They didn't deserve to be even this far, in my opinion. So to be gone with them, nobody cares about all the plenty crying they made. On Senegal, I think our fear for Senegal was they'll be caught on the counter, but then if you have Salah is old and he's going up against a young defenders. It's going to be on a whole other different level. So they couldn't beat Senegal on the counter. Senegal repelled all the counter. And I like this final between Senegal and Morocco because it is Africa's number 1 versus Africa's number 2. Everyone and their mama predicted this final happening. Like, if you go back into my long videos a month before AFCON, when I was doing my AFCON highlights, I predicted a Senegal-Morocco final. Almost everyone predicted this. And it's befitting that we have this final because the two teams have been Africa's best for a very long time. So I would love to see that final. And you have Nigeria, Egypt in the third place. I feel bad for Nigeria because Ghana has been to this level where we're always playing third. I remember, we're always playing third place games against Mali, and then Ghana will never take it serious. Mali will beat us and stuff. So, I mean, hard luck to Nigeria, but at least one thing I can say to Nigeria is that, see, Nigerians, you've actually seen your country win the AFCON. I mean, 2013, a lot of you were old enough to remember Nigeria winning the AFCON. Bros, I've never seen, since 82, my mother had not even met my father. I have never seen Ghana live this AFCON. Yes, we do have 4 over you, but relax. And I feel like you are in that state Ghana was in from 2008 to 2017 for 9 years. Ghana always went to the AFCON and was guaranteed a semi-final finish. We came close in 2015. Where you guys see, Nigeria blew a 1 penalty. You blew a 1 penalty lead. Ghana had a 2 penalty lead against La Cote d'Ivoire in 2015 and blew it. We blew 2 penalty leads. So, Charlie, I get the pain. And yours was in semi-final. Ours was in the final. And most of us have not seen Ghana win the AFCON. Not most of us. Almost every Ghanaian has not, especially the new gen. We've not seen Ghana win the AFCON. So relax. It happens. I'm sure with time, if you don't get your act together, you might go comatose like Ghana has gone up. Like Egypt went comatose for a while, Cameroon went comatose for a while. So Nigeria needs to capitalize on this. Keep Eric Shaw, keep whatever you are doing, play whatever you are. You're a talented country, you have more talent, and then top up on it. You would finally win it. Ghana's biggest mistake was for 9 years, we would win it, we never won it. Make sure you cross the line. So that is it with Nigeria's third place. And I think Nigeria will beat Egypt. They played a better football. Also mentioned, I think Nigeria missed Ndidi. Onyedika, my friend said, Onyedika, we thought you were press resistant. What's going on? So Nigeria will be fine. So for the final, I mean, if you look at how this tournament has gone, I think Senegal will have a Herculean task because I'm thinking of the last time someone hosted a game and hosted a tournament and lost in the final. I can think of Portugal in 2004, France in 2016 at the Euros, Ghana beating Libya 1970 in the 80s in Libya. Mostly when people host, they make sure that they come across that finish line. I think South Africa hosted in 96 and won. Nigeria, okay, so Nigeria hosted in 2000 and lost that final as well. So Nigeria knows how to host and lose. So, but it rarely happens. Cote d'Ivoire hosted and won. Most of the times when countries are hosting, they make sure they win, especially when they are the big boys. So the odds are really in favor of Morocco, but I think, again, if Morocco would win, it would be because of the 11th man they have, which is the crowd, because it's a very hostile. Senegal are entering a hostile environment. I like the mentality of Senegal. I like what Mane has been preparing for. What Mane, after, like, do not over celebrate, keep it down, work hard. They are going to be losing Koulibaly, but I think they have a good replacement because Sek came in the semi-finals against Benin, and they played a good game. Habib, I think is it Habib Diarra or Habib Diallo would be missing, but they have a potent replacement in Kamara. Kamara, this is your chance because we were promised you are going to be the prodigy. For a very long time, Kamara was lighting up the Senegalese team, but it seems he's not found favor under Thiaw, which is the new coach. But then he would start that game, and this is India. We've not seen him. If this is the time for you to show up and show out. See, Senegal have won AFCON, which is a travesty because a country with the footballing ability of Senegal, you should have more than one AFCON. That AFCON you won in 2021, Senegal, it's not for money. You did that for Fadiga. You did that for El Hadji Diouf. You did that for Aliou Cisse. You did that for Silva. You did that for that Senegal team. This AFCON is for you. This for money. It's for Mendy. It's for this generation. So Senegal, I am hoping you win. For Morocco, they've not won since 1970. The last time they were in the final was 2004. You better win it now because we know you struggle to win it when you are not hosting. Like this is going to be most likely your best shot in a long while. Any other AFCON hosted outside Morocco would be hard for Morocco to win, from what I'm seeing and from the football and all the AFCONs we've watched. So this is your best opportunity to win. If I am a betting man, my brain tells me Morocco would win this game. There's no way they will come this far to lose. But my heart is supporting Senegal. Guys, let me know your prediction. And again, just like I said, $50 for who can predict right. You have to be a subscriber to the Sulia podcast. It was amazing coming your way this AFCON. My name is Safo Kwame Oheneba. Bye.